such an asshole.
All right, link below. 2 links. I'm sorry, not that. It's been a day, guys. It's been a day. The Book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. So you know. All right, there's numbers. There's numbers, guys. So you can say, oh, inform your education about the pursuit of women. Don't just peen want be touch, me want fall in love. It's not 1950 anymore, guys. Have you not seen the television? Have you not seen the news articles? Do you not live life and go out and meander among women and ask, have you not taken account of your experiences? So there's that. And then there's the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex, and it's not a joke. It's not black pill. It's coming, guys. It's coming. And ladies, it's coming because we're on this together. I don't know if you knew that. We're all on the same ship together. But half of you are not forecasted to get married. So you better figure out something to do. And I don't know, are the sexes important to one another? Ladies, do you want a man in your life? Men, you want a woman in your life? Well, you better all start learning what the other one wants here and what the rules and the lay of the ground is here before we all, I would say, go play a wonderful game or do a ballroom dance, but it looks like we're going to go to war. So I don't know whether you should probably know whether to bring your dancing shoes or some armor and a sword right about now. So there you go. That's linked down below. We have a good question. Hi, asshole. This would be a video request. I'm curious in your opinion on the following situation. You would most likely recognize me, but for the sake of this video and audience, here's my information. 31 years old from the United States. No kids, no debt, single, will stay that way. We've been gone good. Good job with low 6 figures income, good retirement and cash savings. I've spent the past decade of my life working on myself. This has resulted in me having everything that I wanted to have. In my previous request, you gave me the green light to basically mail it in for the rest of my life and start enjoying myself. Yes, you are here once. That is it. Make sure you have some fun along the way. Due to working on myself in my 20s, I did not travel much, both domestic and foreign. Now I want to make up for the long lost time and start checking out places short term once or twice a year. My long-term goal is to find a cheap country where the dollar stretches the furthest so I could stop working full-time and semi-retire early around my mid-40s. Due to my upbringing, I'm a U.S. citizen but was born in an ex-Soviet country, so you know where the Democrats are taking us and where it ends. I know exactly where to travel abroad in order to find a culture that is similar to the one that I was born into. With this being said, I would be lying if I said that women were not a factor in me visiting and potentially moving to the country. Let's stop right here because this is a very important point. You almost sound apologetic, like, oh, I won't be lying, man. Girls can have it. Yes, you are 100% normal. Women always factor into men's decisions. Do you think we get up off our asses and go to stupid places like college for our own benefit? Yes. You're designed to want women. Yes. Go look outside. Everything you see, the buildings, the plane in the air, the doctor, everything. Everything was built because we wanted to pursue women. We wanted to convince them to go out with us. It is natural. It is normal. The entire world is based and built off of it. And there is no shame in wanting women. You are a fool to say, well, no, women, oh, dude, I don't need, no, which I can understand after a while, like after you've gone through it or a divorce, like, no, but even, let's take Vince, for example, at Masculine Geeks. He ain't getting married ever again. I don't think he ever was married. He's never getting married. He ain't having no kids. The girl ain't living with him. He tells his girls right off the bat, but he still has women in his life because he's not a fool. He's not a hypocrite. He's not lying to himself. And so there is nothing wrong with you wanting to move to a country where there might be, sit down, everybody, nice women who treat you well. I believe that some of your passport brothers in arms would agree with you on this. I get a kick out of the backlash the passport bros have gotten. How dare you, sir, go overseas to look for women who will treat you kindly? What did you think was good? Yes, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And by God, buddy, if you find a girl, good for you. Good for a good one, a good one. So there's nothing wrong with admitting the truth because you're being true to yourself, and that's the quickest way to make yourself happy. I don't want to get married or have kids. However, I do enjoy dating and sleeping with women. Really? No kidding. You too? Wow. I thought there was no one else in the world. I've never had a problem in that department. I am 6'3", ripped dude with tattoos that practices martial arts on a daily basis. He does. I also have a good head on my shoulders and almost never simp for a woman except for that one time when I was very young. It happens to us all. While not T-rash, I am perfect for short-term dating, which is basically what I am into. As an ex-foreigner, I will agree with you that the women are pretty much the same everywhere. However, in my past experiences, they are much more easygoing and much more pleasant to be around outside the Western world. So here's where my dilemma lies. I'm getting older and I like my chicks young, early to mid 20s. It's extremely easy to get them right now. However, I know that the male wall also exists. Yeah, but dude, you're in your 30s, aren't you? Yeah, you're in your you have decades of time. At least 20 years if you stay in shape. What you think hold on, look. I'm old. All right, I'm almost 2 decades older than you. I'm in better shape than the average 20 something. All right? You all you got to do is stay in shape and you'll be as best as you can be. I was going to say you'll be fine, but that's not a guarantee 20 years from now. Girls aren't going to be hyper conditioned to want nothing to do with men. Uh, but yeah, you're in no rush is what I'm saying. Right? Uh, and eventually your sex drive and looks will decrease. I do want to travel in the United States and Canada. I want to take my time with it and not rush the whole process. Logistically and job wise speaking, USA and Canada would make sense to travel first, but I would lose 4 to 5 years to start traveling foreign well into my 30s. On the other hand, I am in my best years to travel foreign and enjoy everything life has to offer there right now. But then returning to the US and traveling will be more pricey, more logistic. How are you coming up with all the excuses? Honest to God, dude, stop coming up with excuses. Stop doing the power shit on now. Get off your fucking ass and go do it. But then there might be oh my God, there might be a wind against the plane. It would slow the plane down by 5 minutes. Oh goodness. You're like oh, what's the guy in Family Guy? Mort? Is that the guy that's worried about everything? He's got allergic to everything. But then returning to the US and traveling would be more pricey and more logistically challenging in the future. Well, if you're self-employed and you are in the industry to do it, you could increase your wages so that inflation is not a concern. Why does it just honest to God, people just got to do what I say. You all just got to do what I say. And then these problems go away. Cappy, the house isn't painted. We'll paint the house. Getting a job again, getting a place to live, everything being more expensive, etc. All right. Well, there is a solution. I've told you this solution a billion times before. You haven't followed up on it, have you? You haven't. If you had followed my advice, years ago now, and set up your own practice, you could remotely work and inflation would not be an issue. You wouldn't have to find a job. I have spoken. This is the way. Which option would you recommend first? Also, broad question for the male audience out there. Should a man ever take potential women in sex into consideration when building future plans? Is similar to my situation above. Name your price. All right, so I'll address these two. Let's answer this. What option would you recommend first? Like nearly every client I have, you present me false options. You limit yourself, maybe because you're lazy, maybe because you're scared, maybe a combination of both, that you will not do the double time. You will not see the other options that are on the table that will truly solve your problem. I heard a bunch of pablum about 4 to 5 years of future travel. I'm going to tell you how it is. I don't care that you don't. I don't want to do a rush job of visiting the United States and Canada. Too bad. Too bad. Here's what you're going to do. All right. You have way more time to find a girl than you think. If you want to be serious or not. Okay. However, given you're in the United States, that means it is very statistically unlikely you're going to find a girl who is marriage material, and compellingly so, where you're like, oh my God, this girl is so amazing. I'm changing my plans because this is now a better opportunity. The chances of that are so low right now, especially where you are, that you should don't worry about it. Okay. There is no opportunity cost. Whether you travel throughout the United States and Canada or whether you go overseas, it's not like you were going to miss Miss Perfect at your leftist crap hole. All right. So I would go and travel the United States and Canada first. Why first? Because it's here. Now, we're in fall. So you're not going to want to do Canada. It's starting to get cold up there. All right. I'd save that for a summer. Maybe next summer, do Canada. And it's fall time. It's a perfect time to visit the west of the United States. It's not too cold. All right. So if there's some places out west you'd like to check out, please go do it this year or this fall. That means you're going to incur the expenses of traveling. This is not a pissing away of money, it's an investment. And if you need to figure out places to go and visit, go get reconnaissance, man, and read through it. But what I'd strongly recommend you do, you fly out to Vegas, right? Fly there for a weekend. And then you fly back. Then fly out to Phoenix. Maybe hold off on that. Maybe do that in January or December, right? When it's warm or when it's cold where you are and warm down there. All right. You could do the same with Vegas. Check out Salt Lake City. Take weekend trips. I don't care if it's $1,000 a pop, but take a couple so you get a quick idea what's out there in the Western United States. All right, that's what I recommend. And then more closely to you, definitely check in on Tennessee and Florida if you haven't done those already. And there you go. That's what I would check them out. And then you'll know. You may not fully have explored those areas, but you'll know. Like, yeah, I didn't like that. It kind of like going on a date with a girl. Yeah, I like this thing about her, but she was missing her teeth. Yeah, I like this thing about the other gal, but then she mentioned that she had kids. Right? You're going to do the same thing with the cities. Right? So you're going to go explore, you check it out. You'll kind of know then, at least in the United States. Then when summer comes around next time, I would absolutely go do the Canadian Rockies. F the rest. You only should be in Alberta and British Columbia. That's the only two provinces of Canada worth visiting. The rest of it, don't visit. And the thing with Canada, I don't think you're going to want to live there. Because who wants to live there? It's cold and they got high taxes, and the people hate themselves even more than Minnesotans hate themselves. So it really is just do that whole Banff, Sycamus, Panorama, Jasper, Castlegar, and then if you want to go all the way over to the Canadian Cascades, you can do that. That's fine. But that would be one big old trip. Maybe you take a week off of vacation or 2 weeks. But then you'll have done Canada, all that's worth visiting in Canada anyway. And so now we're talking by this time next year, you will have done a quick tour of the United States and Canada, and that is off your list. And now going forward in your life, If you decide that, yeah, I really want to stay in the United States, and I really like the Prescott, Arizona area, or I was really impressed with the the Grand Junction, Colorado area. I'm going to go out there and spend further more time in that area and explore it, right? Also, by this time next year, if you give a shit about yourself, which is yet to be determined, you will have set up some remote independent contract work in your field. Next time, if you care about yourself, if you don't have to, and you can just, Gappy, same problem, but 3 years later, do what I do. What do I do? So I would just bang out the domestic quickly. So then you know. And then, you could bang out Canada in June. You bang it out early summer. Then you'll know, you say, oh, okay, now I got July and August to go tour overseas, wherever that may be. And since we're going overseas, the world is your oyster. I just want you to time it with summer. You can start going to the nice places in Europe or the former Soviet republics or wherever you are, so it's not too cold. And then after you scratch your domestic itch, then you focus on going overseas. If you get self-employment income, remote work, you now are not rushed to get back to work. Now because let's say, okay, it's one thing to go down to Tennessee from where you're at. All right. That can be done in a weekend. Going to Croatia, that's an involvement. And so you can quickly reconnoiter domestically here, the United States and Canada, not so much going overseas. So if you can get to the point that you have remote work, self-employment, you can go overseas and spend a lot of time overseas and do a proper job of it. Oh. And so, yeah, that way I don't think you're like, oh my God, I lose 4 to 5 years travel foreign and then I'd be in my mid-30s. Yeah, because no 28-year-old woman ever dated a 35-year-old ripped jacked self-employed traveling dude. Never happened. Oh no, and traveling get more pricey in the future. Well, good thing you're self-employed and you can increase your prices. So which options would you recommend first? That's what I recommend. That's what I recommend you do. And then I wouldn't worry about how old you are when you're done reconnoitering the globe. Also, as you may know, that while you're reconnoitering the globe, you might run into some interesting women. All right. So you keep making these false dichotomies. Well, if I do this won't happen. You could find a girl in Croatia. You could find a girl in Canada. Well, you'll see them. I don't know if you're going to want them. It could happen. There'd be a thin, attractive, not Marxist female up there. Sure. But yeah, go do your traveling and thing. Now you go and introduce this. Should a man ever take potential women and sex into consideration when building future plans, as similar from my situation above? All right. No. See, why no? Because it's this false dichotomy, a false choice you give. If I travel, then I won't get girls. No, it's possible. Women are always factored. They're always there. All right. It's whether they are the number one priority or not. That's the difference. Okay. And I think this is kind of one of, if not the most important thing we've pulled or consolidated or concluded upon within the Red Pill community. You do not put women first in your life. Not because you don't want women, but because for men who put women first in their lives, they are simps. And then the pursuit of women costs them achieving excellence in their life, which will permanently attract more women to you. So, the way to get women, the best way is to go and live your best life, become the best man you could possibly be. What is it? Modern Life, John? Career, muscles, money, and game, I believe it is. Go live your life. Become who you want to be. Become the best person you can be. And that, coincidentally, will get the girls. Think about it. Mild-mannered you, let's say you didn't work out. Like right now, you're getting right. How did you get the girls you're currently getting now? It wasn't because you chased after them. It's because you do martial arts, you're jacked, well, you're also tall too, and you are a successful individual. You invested in yourself first, becoming a man women wanted. And now you're gonna switch that like, well, now I'm gonna chase girls. No. In an ironic sense, that doesn't get you the girls. And so when it comes to a man's plans, like should women ever factor into it? Yeah, they always kind of do. As long as it's not the primary mission. And so you you should go travel. You should become self-employed because that will get you girls. Now, the issue I think is what you're talking about is the role and capacity that a woman should play in your life. And here there's a difference between you just being, a T-Rash out there, getting all the girls on a short-term basis versus whether or not you'd want a woman more permanently in your life, which you said you don't, but it sounds like you're okay if you had like a steady girlfriend or something like that. All right, that's a little bit different, but it doesn't change your overall strategy, right? And so when it comes to that, where okay, is a woman going to play a long-term role in my life? Now that's a little bit different than a short-term fling. And here, oh God, women are gonna hate this. I'm sorry, ladies. Maybe you ought to tune out, ladies. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to tune out. Here, I'm gonna say it. It's up to the girl whether or not she's going to be high enough quality material to convince a man to invest in her and make her part of his life. That's what it is. That's what it is. And I've said this many times before. If you want to have a woman in your life, and that's most guys, well, that's all guys, except for our gay brothers out there who, okay, you want a guy in your life, but that's fine. But for those of you who are normal heterosexual men, you're like, yeah, the right gal comes along. Yeah, yeah. Most guys want to have a family. Most guys want to have a steady gal. They won't lie. They probably want to have a harem or two on the side. All right. But don't lie to yourself. If you want, that's fine. But it's going to be up to the woman to prove, to convince you, like, here's my life. I'm doing this thing. It's a great life. I would change it for the right girl, though. So that is up to the girl. It is. However, when it comes to a strategy, like, should men account for women? Should men make considerations for women going into the future? Yes, but the strategy is, again, as I've said it before, is one of you cast some lines in the water, strap them down, and you get back to living life. Because logic would indicate or suggest, I want to find a wife. So now I need to put efforts into finding one. And I'm not saying there aren't things that you can't do to go find a wife. Okay, maybe go to church a little bit more. Maybe, be very clear on your dating profile. There's some things you can tweak and all that. But it cannot come at the expense of you living your life. And that's the main mistake every guy does. Like, I want to, whether chasing girls for short term or long term, get the girls. I want to go to nightclubs. I want to ask, am I going to like swipe an hour and a half a day? Do you know an hour and a half a day the average guy wastes on online dating? You are throwing, not you obviously invest in your life, but for you general men out there, you guys are throwing your lives away pursuing women, and it doesn't increase your chances at all. And for every guy out there If you want to have a woman in your life, either short term or long term, you become the best version you possibly can be, therefore attracting as many women to you as possible. And you leave the option out there like, yeah, I'm all right getting married. I am okay with having a woman in my life and therefore factoring a future prospective woman in my life into my strategy and all that. But the strategy doesn't change that much. Couple lines in the water, right? I'm going to become the best version I could possibly be. So I increase the number of women that are attracted to me, thereby increase the chance of finding a girl I really love and want to be with. I'm a little bit more upfront about what I want out of women, whether you want to get married or you don't. Like, I'm willing to commit, but I'm not going to have kids, whatever. Be forthright in front with women, right? That's fine. But that's all the factoring and accommodate or tailoring of your strategy to get women. So one, it's perfectly moral and acceptable and being honest with yourself if you want to factor women into your decisions and into your life. But two, it really doesn't change the strategy that much. You just like, instead of like, still have your flings on the side, but put it up in your profile. You're going out with a guy like, yeah, I'm looking to get married. Or I'm looking to have a woman, but she's got to be the right one. And this is very key, guys. This is very key because they make it seem like you're the ones that have to do all the work. The woman's got to prove herself. It's a two-person thing. And as much as society has completely ignored, even acknowledged that men have standards and requirements, all right, that doesn't make it any less true. Men have consider it this way. Have you ever felt compelled to propose to a girl? Think about that. Like, oh my God, this is the one. No, probably not. Because what women are compelling, like, yeah, I'm going to give up all this to be with you. Yeah, okay, sure. But that is their responsibility as well. Right? So do not ruin your life trying to find a wife or a girl or some kind of committed woman that would play a long-term role in your life by over searching I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to say. Modern women's failure to prove themselves modern women's failure to make a relationship with them compelling, that a man would say, that is what I want, is not your fault and not your responsibility, and nothing that you can do and change in your strategy to compensate for. All right? Women have to, like, I go out in the middle of the day, there's the ice cream store. I'm not buying the chocolate ice cream unless it looks compelling. Like, oh, I really want that. I've changed my mind. I am going to get that chocolate ice cream because now that is a better option than what I had before. That is women's responsibility. Oh, really? Is it going to turn off? There we go. All right, good. We still have that. All right. So that doesn't really change your strategy overall. However, the philosophical question, should women play a role in men's decisions? Yeah, absolutely. Because in theory, they're exceptionally rare, but not even in theory. You get the right woman, that'll be that would make you the happiest you ever were. That's like the best thing you can have in life is a good, sweet, loving, kind woman. I don't think that's ever been a debate here in the red pill community. I don't think it's been. It's just that it's so exceptionally rare nowadays that it's most of it has been a response to like, okay, well, what do we do now? Obviously, you're like, well, I'm going to go travel. I'm going to go figure out, I'm going to go overseas. But yeah, women should play a role in your life if the right one comes along. And the strategy, as I said, with a line in the water type of strategy is, okay, in the olden times, it was much more common. Now it is exceptionally rare. However, since it can play such an increasing happy wonderful role in your life, you leave the door open for them. You leave a light on for them. You leave a line in the water. But then it's up to the fish to bite. It's up for someone to walk in on into the door. It's up to them to actually go and present themselves, say, "Yeah, here I am." And unfortunately, what we see today, which is what I've been trying to warn as an economist, is that you are so biologically, traditionally, and genetically programmed, which is nothing wrong to go and find women and procreate and have kids and fall in love and have that family. You're that 2 million years of human evolution, biological programming is blinding you to the modern day political realities of women simply just not wanting men, and a microscopic few percentage of them that are even capable of making you happy in life. So it's kind of it's like winning the lottery, but it costs you barely anything. Normally, I wouldn't say play the lottery because financially it's a money losing proposition. All right. But because there's such an upside potential, and it takes you basically nothing to do aside from throw a line in the water and say, "Yeah, I'm open for it. And yeah, I'm okay with it." But the right girl comes along. Yeah, fine. In the meantime, you get on with your life. You don't stew and brood. Don't go to the nightclubs. Don't yell at women at loud bars. You don't waste an hour and a half on the dating profiles. And if it's really important, yeah, go to friendlier waters, go to where there's fish in the, start fishing in crystal clear streams. Don't fish in the sewer like it is in the West. There are other things you can do to increase your chances, but you never sacrifice your life for it. And I'm saying you can have both. You can have it where you go and you pursue your life, because that's the strategy in which you're going to get these girls. And you just change your tactics just a little bit. Then you know what? Out of your hands. Now you hit the ball, or you take the tennis ball, you hit it back to the girls' side of the court, and now it's up to them to hit the ball back. And if they don't hit it back, like, okay, well, the game's done. I'm out of here. Because normally, yeah, sure, it would have been wife and kids, marriage and all that. That's not on the table anymore. And it's not like, okay, now I just sit at home and play it. No, you got to go do something. You got to go live your life. And so that's what I'm concerned. That's what I'm worried about with the boys out there, boys, anyone under 50. You keep chasing after these girls, you get your life destroyed by them. You're like, oh, what was my life about? I was chasing after girls to get divorced, wasting my time. Whereas you, sir, oh, I traveled around, yeah, but you know what? None of them ever came. I said there's a couple close call, but it went that way. But at least look at this life I got. And then some of a lucky few of you, yeah, I was doing my thing and having a good time. I was dating, and then this gal came along. Holy shit. I couldn't believe it. And then you're happy, got a couple kids, and there you go. All 2.73% of you. Look it up. All right. Let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. So, link below the book of numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women, and the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. Again, I don't know if I've said this before. Half of you will never be married, according to the numbers. Could be wrong. But in that very likely statistical chance, maybe you ought to have a game plan on how to live life while accommodating for the chance there might be that perfect girl for you. Artful Clone, $10, just came back to the U.S. after 10 days in Mountain Town in South America. I haven't seen a single fat woman the whole time there. Went to Walmart for some coffee creamer this morning. I'm depressed now. I know, man. Modern Life John, he gets depressed when he comes back to the U.S. Keon, $2. Forget the ladies, make decisions for yourself. Right. And in doing that, guess what? You increase your chances of getting the ladies. Shithouse DR, $2. They're all left everywhere. Yes, they are. Go get the book of numbers, Shithouse DR. I account for that. Women, just so you know, ladies, you can be married to the government and your leftist politics, or you can be married to a man. You can't serve two masters. You either serve the household, you're part of which that you are of if you get married to a guy, or you serve the government. We all know which way you're going. Just pointing out. Luis Desi, $5. Over the last few months, looked up a few of the women I went to high school with, am completely shocked and stunned how much they've declined from that. Yes, I didn't believe that would happen, and it does. It does. I'm like, nah, they just say that. But yeah, that's why you got to work out, be in good shape, diet, have activities, and have the hair of Vlad Elkins. Vlad Elkins, CPA. Portland sucks. Up for a stream while I'm out here. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I got Michael Kigswood is visiting from noncommunistsciencefiction.com. He is here. So we're going to go bum around and do fun things. There you guys go. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.